Hi, my name is Juan Salazar and I'm the editor of Dataconomy.com. I'm sitting here with Philipp Krenn, who is a developer advocate at Elastic. Welcome, Philipp.
Hi.
Thanks for sitting down with me. I have very basic questions. The first one is, what did you present today at Data Natives?
I talked about databases in general. Like the talk was called Databases, the choice is yours. And it was just like an overview from both the theoretical side, like how did we get here, and current systems, like what are people using them for, and what is a good use case for each of these systems.
Nice. That's very useful, I guess, for our audience.
I hope so.
Generally, when and why did you start learning programming languages? Or software development in general?
I'm not sure you can call it software development,
Okay.
but it was, back at school, like I guess I started like everybody else with computer games, and then I wanted to make websites, and it was a bit of HTML, and then PHP, and then I think we learned Pascal at school, so...
Really?
Yeah,
All of those?
Yeah. No, not PHP, I did that in my free time,
Okay.
but we learned Pascal at school, and then Delphi, and long forgotten stuff. So I'm not sure you could call that software development, but we did some programming, and then I went to university and kind of took off from there.
Nice. But is it, you're from Austria,
Yes.
right? Is it normal that you learn, that you start with programming languages at school age?
Yes, so I mean
Intensively?
you have the compulsory course, which is more generic and more office and stuff, but then you can select an additional course, and there you would program.
Oh.
But it's not as great as it sounds. Like, I think we mainly learned Pascal because our teacher didn't want to learn another language.
Okay.
And she had learned Pascal 20 years ago, and you could still run it.
So teaching you the cutting edge.
Yeah, it was pretty much like computers from the Stone Age, but well, it could have been worse. Like, programming is programming. You kind of get the mindset.
Yeah, and I guess at least that gave you the impulse sort of to pursue it, to pursue something that would become your passion eventually.
Exactly. And then I saw, well, you can do cool stuff, and I mean, I guess it could have been better, but it was kind of a decent start.
Okay. Going back to your talk, how did you get into database development?
I don't know. At some point, it caught my interest, and I got into this whole NoSQL thing, and I read about it and found it very interesting. And I started doing it at university, and then I continued doing that at a startup for some years, and now I'm at Elastic, so same space, still going on.
That's cool. Then good that you mentioned Elastic, because I was going to ask you the kind of work that you do at Elastic, and if there's anything that you really love about your job.
Well, my job is like doing all different stuff and traveling around, so that's kind of a great combination. I'm part of a real engineering team, so I'm in our infrastructure team, doing all things about testing, automation, AWS, Docker, all of these little background thingies.
Okay.
But I'm spending a lot of time at conferences and meetups and just kind of spread the Elastic love all around as an advocate. But also having kind of this grounding in engineering to just know what you're talking about and also do some proper work as well. And I always describe it like I'm in the infrastructure team and then pipe, like Unix pipe developer advocacy. So I kind of pipe the engineering work into developer advocacy. That's always my explanation of it.
Nice. I did a little bit of research, of course, and I see that you're, aside from being a very active developer and advocate, you're also an organizer. You organize events. What kinds of events are these, and what kind of communities are you trying to foster?
Well, I'm organizing my own meetups, and I must admit it's very low effort. So it's just like meetup.com. Whoever is interested can come. I'm not like big into sponsoring or like getting them bigger and bigger. It's just like what I find interesting, and just have an interesting exchange with people, and also like kind of get to know what are people doing, what are the people actually in your own town doing. So it was very interesting. I actually knew blogs from before, and then suddenly it turned out like these people are living actually in Vienna, and like they're there, and you can just invite them and do interesting stuff. And you have people working remotely for interesting companies, so you can also just invite them. And so later on, I was hired by another interesting company, and they also do remote work. So it's very easy just to get started and actually see what is possible. And for me, it's kind of meetups and everything kind of gave me that starting point, like what is actually possible, that even though you're in a city that is great in itself, but it's like not super into software development. It's not Silicon Valley. Even there, you have interesting stuff going on, and you have lots of people you can meet, and you have lots of opportunities and stuff you can actually do. That kind of opened that window for me a bit, like what is kind of possible. And yes, you can do all of that wherever you are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that what I gather is you just wanted to find a community of like-minded people, like no real
exactly
interests behind it, or just
right. There was no business goal. I'm not selling anything. I'm not offering jobs. I'm even not even getting sponsors unless somebody says, hey, this is a cool topic, I want to sponsor that. For me, it's really just about the content and meeting the people.
Bonding with the community that you have in Vienna, I guess.
Yeah, and just see what we can do and just have a healthy exchange.
Great. Yeah, the last question is, why did you decide to join Data Natives, and what are you looking forward to in the conference?
Well, Germany is a hot market in general, so we're very interested in everything that's going on, and since Elastic has a lot to do with data, I thought, well, this is a place where we should be. And I had also lots of interesting discussions after my talk, and people came and like, hey, we're using your product, or we might want to use your product, or we have this problem. So it feels like the right spot to be at. And also I like that you have just 2 tracks, which gives you quite a good audience.
Yeah.
And it is pretty focused on something specific. Like, I've recently been to other conferences which were very broad, which is also kind of nice, but you're missing the depth. Whereas here is really this data approach, like going deep, having different approaches there, but like being very focused on one task, and that feels very valuable to us.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me.
Thank you.
All right.